Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to the Citizen channel as we edge nearer that title, don't we, as it gets closer and closer as we look back at a game at the King Power against Leicester City. A nice win, nice comfortable win, a little bit trepidation beforehand, but we had no need to worry, did we really? 5:30 p.m. kickoff, 3rd of April 2021. Leicester City 0, Manchester City 2. We're going to have our usual match analysis with the match stats, Mr. Bukowski's player ratings and my views. Yeah, not a million miles away today. There's a couple, perhaps his man of the match was slightly different to mine. We'll have our quirky stats, of course, and any conclusions we can make for both Leicester and ourselves. I mean, I'll say I don't have to clarify too much about ourselves, do we? We're doing really well, so please join me as we look back at that game. If you're new to the channel, please push that subscribe button. I'm over 800 now, fantastic. Thanks everyone for the subscriptions, etc. Much appreciated. Keep putting the word out there for me, that'll be great. Let's go onwards and upwards now to the next target. Let's go onwards and upwards to 900. See how quickly we can do that. But thank you so much for subscribing, and if you're not subscribed, please do so. And if you do enjoy what you see, I do City Pass, City Present, City Quizzes, City Magazine vlogs, City Book Clubs. There will even be a City Movie Club soon, eh? There you go. So please push that notification button as well, so you know these little vlogs are coming out. Absolutely fun, absolutely wonderful if you can do that for me. And you will see on my playlist, I am very greedy. I have a film and TV channel as well. I love films and TV, so I do movie reviews, TV drama reviews, information vlogs, lots of different things on there as well. So if that's of any interest, you want to have a rest from football for an hour, a couple of hours, just have a look over there. That'd be great. And if you know anyone who might be interested in that as well, please point them in my direction. And if you're after friends or followers on Facebook and Twitter, there's a couple of links up there. Just follow and friend me, and I do check every 3 or 4 days and follow and friend everyone back, and I post loads of stuff on there as well, and repost stuff for people, and anything of interest I will put on there. And all comments are very welcome. Thank you to the guys who always regularly comment, but all new comments from new subscribers will be fantastic. Don't be shy. We don't have a live channel yet. We may do it at some stage, but let me know how you're doing, what you're doing, and what you're up to. So that'll be fantastic. If you've no time for a comment, just give us a thumbs up, that'd be fantastic as well. Right, the match, yeah, a change to the officials. I had a slightly different official team down, so whether I got the wrong information or I was fed the wrong information, I'm not too sure. I'll have to shoot whoever gave me that information, but of course it was Anthony Taylor in charge, which I don't think he's done too bad for us recently. For a poor referee, he's as bad for us as he is for the other team we're playing normally, so it doesn't really make any difference. So he was in charge yesterday. His line-outs were Bezic and Nunn. Fourth official was Mr. Craig Pawson. On VAR we had Peter Bonks, and on assistant VAR Mr. T. Wood. Yeah, starting lineup. Yeah, 6 changes to the Everton game. It was a cup game, the Everton game, so you'd expect that, wouldn't you? But we seamlessly can put these 6 changes in now. I'm not worrying so much now that I used to worry a couple of months ago about these 6, 7, 8 changes in a game. It sort of seamlessly worked, didn't it? So the starting 11: Edison, Walker, Diaz, Laporte, Mendy. More on him in a moment. My apologies, Benjamin. I'll have a word in a minute. Fernandinho, Rodrigo, Mahrez, Kevin De Bruyne, Jesus, Aguero. And the subs: Carson, Stones, Aki, Sterling, Gundogan, Bernardo, Torres, Cancelo, Foden, and as ever, fantastic bench. But when you've got everyone fit, it's bound to be, isn't it? My lineup thoughts: yes, I got 8 correct, so that wasn't too bad going, but it wasn't particularly the ones I got correct was the thing. It was what I got wrong, because I did say, I know he's watching, I know you sit down with all the guys and watch these, Benjamin, but my apologies. I did say I didn't want you anywhere near this team in my preview, but hey, all credit to you. You stood up well, got that essential first goal, didn't you? So my apologies. But there you go. We can't always be right. I was sort of right with Aguero, wasn't I? I didn't really think he'd be playing, to be honest with you. And I don't want to be cruel, but sometimes it felt as though he probably wasn't playing. But there you go. As I say, I don't think he's in the right mode at the moment, and I think Pep perhaps made a little bit of mistake playing Aguero. So anyway, I didn't do too bad, and my apologies, Benjamin. I love Benjamin Mendy, don't get me wrong. I want every City player to do well. I don't care who they are, but obviously I just didn't see him playing in this after the disaster he put in. Well, having said that, it wasn't alone, was he, in the 5-2 defeat? They all put disasters in that day. So, but yeah, I couldn't see it. But there you go. The tales of the unexpected again came about on that one, didn't they? But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I did say there'd be 5 players rested for the Dortmund game: Cancelo, Zinchenko, Gundo and Foden. I did say Rodri as well. So 4 out of 5 ain't bad. So I was pretty spot on with that one. I think those players will be playing against Dortmund. So I'm quite happy with that. Pre-match social media talk. Yeah, Pep G at MCFC_DRSH. Put Benjamin Mendy question mark. Yeah. There you go. He wasn't alone in that, was he? Manny at MCFC Manny. Pep overthinking against Leicester FFS. Okay. Well, he didn't. He knows what he's doing, doesn't it? And even Stephen McInerney had a few doubts. All credit to him. He was a bit worried about airing his opinion, mate. But if you're going to have an opinion, air it. Doesn't matter. I mean, all right, you might lose a few followers, but you'll gain more. So just be honest. And I think most genuine City fans will appreciate constructive criticism and opinions. But he wrote, I wish I could share everyone's excitement about Aguero playing, but it honestly feels like that is based on who he is, not what he is now. Still obviously love him, but from a purely footballing perspective. Well, yeah, still hope he bags and makes me look like a dick. Absolutely. I mean, that's all you can say, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you lose followers or subscribers because of that, that's totally wrong. You got to stand by it. I love Aguero to bits, but I'm sorry, for the last, obviously this season we've not seen much of him, but even last season you could tell he'd lost half a yard of pace, and I did say so in my reviews and previews constantly throughout the season. So nothing wrong with that, mate, and we love him to bits. But yeah, he's not quite up there now, is he? Let's be honest about it. So the match summation and stats. Yeah, it's a bit early for Mr. Phil Banerjee, so please check him out on Facebook anyway. So he has some great match reports and opinions. So you'll have to suffer my goal scoring prose today for the goals we scored. So my apologies. But hey, most people, when I'm up on a Sunday, most people are still in bed. So I can't blame him really. Have a nice lie in, Phil. Anyway, right, first 45 minutes. Yeah, we had the goal, didn't we? I think it was fair enough. I think Aguero was obviously interfering as Furness smashed that ball in from 30 yards. But yeah, and I don't think Aguero could have been that much quicker getting out. It was obviously a play where he obviously was going for it. It didn't quite get to him, so he was sort of coming back out. So you couldn't really blame Aguero. It's just one of those things. And obviously I can't blame the VAR and the referee for cancelling it out, or the linesman for flagging. So that's fair enough. 18 minutes, yeah, Sergio blasts over from a Mahrez knee block. Yeah, he sort of blocked it with his knee from an attempted pass out of defence. So that was where the closing down was working, obviously, and Sergio blasted that over. 22 minutes, KDB wins a free kick. Ndidi caught him, didn't he? I think he was quite lucky to stay on the pitch during the game, actually, Ndidi. On at least 4 or 5 occasions, deliberate fouls, real clumsy fouls. He did get booked, didn't he, then dragged off by Brendan. But yeah, he was a bit lucky to stay on the pitch, in my opinion, based on what he was doing. So he won that free kick. Some people said it was a bit soft, but I think he made contact with him just before he did it. And of course, he smacked the bar with a superbly dipping shot, didn't he, with Schmeichel. Absolutely no chance there. 27 minutes, Jesus may have been offside, but if you remember, he was sort of put through, and then he looked as though it was odds on for him to just pass it back across to set Aguero up, but he seemed to stretch unnecessarily. I mean, he did the same for his goal later, we'll talk about that, but he seemed to stretch unnecessarily, and obviously didn't get the purchase on the ball back to Aguero. So I'm not too sure. As I say, it could have been ruled off for offside anyway, but I'm not sure what Jesus was doing there, to be honest with you. 41 minutes, Mahrez brings out a save, but he may have done better. Yeah, I thought he could have curled into the far corner then, but when you look back, the defender was sort of there with his legs, so perhaps if he tried to do that, it would have took a deflection, but the deflection may have took it past Schmeichel, so it might have been worth the effort. But there you go. Not the best from Mahrez. I think he could have done better with that one. 44 minutes, Jesus cleverly creates some space from the left, but blasts high and wide. Yeah, he cuts in, doesn't he, and then just ruins it all with a bit of a panicky wide shot, high and wide shot. 46 minutes, yeah, after 0 shots and from Leicester, they suddenly had the ball in the net, but obviously Mr. Steptoe was obviously offside by a couple of feet, so that's all. But that just shows you, doesn't it, total dominance for City in that first half. Nothing to show despite a couple of really good chances, and Leicester could have nicked a goal. So there you go. That's what we've become used to. Fortunately, we've not been letting the goals in, have we? But that's what we've become used to over the years. I must just comment on Schmeichel as well. I do like Schmeichel. He's okay, but his distribution has always been and still remains pretty awful, doesn't it? Let's be honest. How many balls did he put out into touch? Absolutely, he just does it, and he's done it since he was a lad, since he was knee high to a fly. He's done that. So, yeah, I do like Schmeichel, but he'd never be a Pep goalie, would he? His distribution absolutely awful. Half time, yeah. So 0-0. Yeah, I was still optimistic. We'd controlled that first half, hadn't we? Second half, 48 minutes and 51 minutes. Tillemans goes close. One, an easy save for Ederson, and the other a great block by Diaz, wasn't it? From a break after Ferner had lost it in midfield, unfortunately. So, yeah, so as I said, after all that possession in the first half, we could have easily been 1-0 down again with those couple of chances. 56 minutes, good work by Jesus, and the volley by Sergio this time, blocked for a corner. I think the goalie, Schmeichel, might have had it covered. I think it was goal-bound, but I don't think he hit it as perfect as he could have done. 59 minutes, yeah, it's 1-0, isn't it? I think it was a Rodri cross, has Jesus attempting a side volley, but obviously this doesn't get to him as a defender sort of heads it out, but it doesn't go very far, does it? It hits Mendy. And he's still got lots to do when he gets it, but he sort of feints a little bit to his left, and obviously the defender is absolutely sold on it. And of course he puts it in, just passes it in with his right foot. Schmeichel, no chance. I mean, I don't think Schmeichel was particularly wrongly positioned. I think it was just a shock for him to see Mendy up there. So a fantastic little right foot shot, a collector's item obviously for Mendy as well to score with his right foot. That was fantastic. 59 minutes, 1-0. 62 minutes, yeah, Aguero was off and Sterling was on. Then we had Maddison appeared, didn't we? Maddison appeared for Leicester, sporting a lovely hairband. I thought he plaited his hair at first, but I think that was an Easter gift from his auntie. I think a reliable source did inform me. So yeah, you look lovely, Jemima. Anyway, that was fantastic, Jemima Maddison. You did look nice in that hairband, very pretty. I mean, I did have hair at his age, so I'm not being jealous or anything like that. I'm just what I've been told. 73 minutes, yeah, a yellow for wasting time for Ederson. Absolutely ridiculous. He hadn't even wasted that much time, but this is typical of Anthony Taylor, what he does. I mean, how many times a goalkeeper's done that against City throughout a game from kick-off and never get booked? But as soon as Ederson does anything like that, he gets booked. And it's not the first time that's happened. Absolutely ridiculous. And obviously, Mr. Taylor's been marked down accordingly. 74 minutes, yeah, it was 2-0, wasn't it? Superbly weighted ball through from KDB, plays in Jesus, and yeah, and I think he was right to try and find Sterling. I think his scoring opportunity was a bit, say, 70-30 against, so he was quite right to find Sterling, who then, instead of hitting it first time, which perhaps he should have hit, it came perhaps to his left foot more. He did his usual, didn't he? He sort of brought it back inside the defenders, which works, but obviously by that time, 3 defenders plus the goalkeeper were back. But he did have the nous to actually find Jesus again, who, again, did these little stretching exercise, but he calmly side-footed it home from 6 yards. So happy birthday, mate, Annie. But overall, it worked all right. But obviously, we had a divering Sterling for a minute, didn't we? Which could have worked. It could have been a total disaster now. But I thought my head was in my hands when he suddenly brought it back inside. But all's well that ends well. 78 minutes. Yeah, Mahrez misses a great chance for 3-0. I mean, he must have brought out his inner Iheanacho with that one. If you remember his miss against City with the company goal against Leicester that time. Yeah, I mean, I just expected that to hit the net, and I don't know what he was doing, but he didn't have the greatest of games, Mahrez, did he? But yeah, he should have really buried it. I mean, even at 2, me, I panic at 2-0 with like 2 minutes of injury time left, so I was still panicking at 2-0 with 10 or 12 minutes left, so I would have loved that to go in. I would have been more relaxed, put it that way. So anyway, he missed a great chance for 3-0. 78 minutes, Torres on after having a good wash. Did you notice that he had a good wash with his bottle? He must have had some anti-COVID stuff in it, because he washed his arms and he put it on his head and he washed his face and he washed his arms. So he had a good wash anyway before he came on, Torres. So that was all good. Came on for Mahrez. 82 minutes. Ferner was carded. I think he's trying to get a card a game at the moment. Fernandino. I think that's his aim to see out. Hopefully he will stay for another season. But if he does go, he's trying to sort of get a book in a game, I think. As long as he don't get sent off, we're all right. But he got carded for treading on. Obviously, he treaded on Maddison's hairband, didn't he? And obviously, Maddison's anti-Marge will be livid at that. I mean, it must cost a couple of quid that from Tesco's. I mean, he shouldn't be doing things like that. So anyway, poor Jemima. Anyway, a great chance for Jemima later, but a weak shot at Edison on 86 minutes. He's a bit fed up with that one, but there you go. 88 minutes, an irate KDB. I'll leave Jemima alone now. An 88 minutes, an irate KDB. Yeah, he was caught by a flailing hand. Was that Ndidi? I'm not sure who it was actually at the time, but he was caught by a flailing hand, so he was a bit angry, a bit moany. So obviously he was taken off just to keep him calm, and Mr. Foden came on 90 minutes, a yellow for Rodri as well. Well, it's not. I mean, if anything further can do, Rodri can do, can't he? So a bit of a clumsy bear hug near the centre circle, wasn't it? So unfortunately, yellow for Rodri as well. 3 minutes injury time, nothing untoward happened in that time. Yeah, ref watch, Anthony Taylor. Yeah, I mean, he lets too many things go and then books players like Edison for absolutely nothing, and then doesn't book players when he should be booking players. So he's probably unrateable. I'll give him a 4 out of 10. I'll give him a score just for turning up, and being bold like me. But that's the only thing I'm going to do. The match stats: shots for Leicester 5 with 2 on target. Shots for City 11 with 4 on target. Possession 57% for City. Passes 437 for Leicester, only 566 for City, so a bit down on perhaps normal. We usually get 600, 700 plus, don't we? Completion 83% for Leicester, 87 for City, so again one of our lowest completion rates. But we're playing the third in the league. It's not going to be all easy stuff, is it? But the control we had in the first half, I was a bit surprised by that stat actually. Corners just one each, just one corner each. Fouls 13 by Leicester, 12 by City. Yeah, it was a bit scrappy at times, foul-wise. Right, the player ratings, my starting score's 7. If they didn't play up to scratch, they get less, and there are a couple of players who got less yesterday. And if they played better, they get more than 7. If they played a good, solid, standard game, they'll get a 7. And of course, Mr. Bukowski's in charge of the MEN scores. So I'll read out his description, then add my little bit. Edison had very little to do, but did it well. Assertive in claiming the ball from dead ball situations, and his distribution was as accurate as usual. So Simon's given him a 7. I'm not going to disagree with that. I didn't deserve a yellow when he was really, really solid yesterday, so I'll give him a 7 as well. Walker grew into the game as he put his experience to use. He didn't offer much in attack, but played a significant role in stopping Leicester counters. Yeah, he's given him a 7. I'd give Walker a 7.5. I think I agree. He didn't do much in attack, but he put himself about. Not great going forward, but always willing and good defensively. You always sort of knew you could rely on him to get back and help out. So, he's a defender, but I mean, you know what I mean by that, don't you? So I'll give him a 7.5. Simon give him a 7. Diaz important in commanding the defence and also made a pivotal block in the second half when the game was still goalless. Yeah, he's given him an 8. I can't disagree with that. I give him an 8. Excellent, even without his best mucker stones, wasn't he? So I've got to give him an 8, Diaz. Laporte, a solid performance, albeit one that won't likely nudge him ahead of John Stones, correct? In the pecking order, he is helped out by Diaz at times. So he's given him a 7. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 7. I don't think he should get marked down. I think he was comfortable. I mean, he isn't John Stones, is he? But it's great to have him there, a guy of his quality, and we know he can step up. Mendy, position high and wide on the left. Mendy held his own as Albright and pushed hard, searching for a mistake in possession. He whipped in a few dangerous crosses and he showed wonderful poise to score the opener. He did. So he's given him an 8. Yeah, I'm going to match that. I think he had no real problems. He worked hard and he scored a great goal. So all credit to Benjamin. My apologies, mate. Fernandinho, unlucky to see his early effort ruled out and started like an express train, although was fortunate when he was caught out to allow a Leicester break in the second half. Well, I've already mentioned that. So I'm giving him a 7, but I think he was worth a 7.5. Yes, an error, but he was a workhorse, wasn't he, all game? But obviously, please stop trying to get these bookings, Ferner. They will mount up and you'll miss games, so come on. Calm down a little bit. Although, to asking Ferner to calm down is like in the sun, asking the sun not to rise, isn't it, unfortunately? So, yeah. Simon give him a 7, I'll give him 7.5. Rodri, alert to everything going on around him and dealt with it all in one of his more mobile outings. The prime reason City control the game so high up on the pitch, and I think Rodri was his man of the match. Did well because I think he did well because Ferner did all the carrying, didn't he? All the donkey work. So yeah, I'll give him a 7.5. He wasn't my man of the match, but he did well. 7.5 from me, 8 from Simon. KDB, some good moments, including thundering a free kick against the bar, slipping Maris through in the build up to the goal and making the second. Was caught in possession and chose the wrong pass more than he would like, but that probably doesn't matter too much when you've had a drink you've had a hand in 2 goals, 7 and 7.5. Yeah, much didn't work, but what he did caused a lot of danger, didn't it? I mean, you say for every effort that works, 3 or 4 didn't, but that's KDB. He takes the high chance, you know, he takes the sort of greatest risk, doesn't he, with his pass? He doesn't ever look for the easy ball, which is sometimes a fault. I mean, sometimes he should perhaps look for an easy ball, but that's not him, is it? So, yeah, 7 from Simon. I've given him a 7.5. I think he's well worth a 7.5 yesterday. Mahrez looked rustier than he did before the international break, missing 3 decent chances in the box when the goal presented itself. Subbed immediately after the worst of those misses, coincidentally. Yeah, I think he was already being subbed, so it wasn't just because of that. As he said, it was coincidence. Let's give him a 5. Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure what I did right, so I would echo that. I can't remember if I give him a 5 or 5.5 now. My screen's gone funny. Check my ratings that are up there anyway, but yeah, I'm not sure what exactly he did right. I think he started okay, but wasn't very good after that. Jesus worked hard, scored a goal, almost a perfect Jesus performance, although he did blast one over in the first half. Yeah, we did. Got to forgive him that. I mean, Simon gave him a 7. I've given him a 7.5. I think with the goal as well, and all that. All right, a couple of chances a bit rubbishy on, as I've commented, but he's got to be worth a 7.5 at least for the effort yesterday. Aguero, his biggest contribution, sadly, was chalking off Fernandinho's early goal through being in an offside position. Well, he wasn't really at fault for that. Didn't do anything to suggest he will start Tuesday. Probably won't. Simon's given him a 5. Yeah, I'll give him a 6. I'm not going to give him the 7. I'm sorry, he just wasn't up to it. Love him to bits, but perhaps obviously it's bye-bye, isn't it? And I certainly don't think he'll be playing many more games between now and the end of the season. But he'll no doubt pop in and get us a few goals, so that'll do. Come on, Serge, finish off. Sterling for Aguero on 63, showed good awareness to set up Jesus for the second. Yeah, eventually. Simon's given him a 7. Yeah, I'll give him a 7. Just, I thought he'd say he came on a sub, so I'll give him the standard 7. I'm going to mark him. He was on for nearly half an hour, but yeah, he differed a bit, but he did his usual. Perhaps he wasn't comfortable shooting first time, so I'm being a bit unfair. Torres for Mahrez, 78 minutes, made little impact. He's given him a 6, Simon. I've not even scored him. He wasn't on long enough, and obviously Foden came on in the 88th minute, but no scores for him. Yeah, so my Citizen man of the match there, he is up on screen. Yeah, he could give those other 2 guys a good battle, couldn't he, in my little play on films as well there. If you look at one of the taglines for Godzilla versus Kong, obviously one will fall, but obviously when Mr. Diaz is about, both will fall, will they? So there you go. Yeah, I'll give my man of the match Diaz. Just from Mendy, I was almost going to give it Mendy, but I thought I'd give it Diaz. And yeah, all credit to, I think Rodri had a good game, like Simon said, but not quite up there for my man of the match. Quirky stats, here we go, up to Joe. The King Power Stadium is one of just 3 grounds Sergio Aguero has played at least 4 Premier League games at and never scored, along with Anfield 8 times and Selhurst Park 6. So I think we'll still play at Crystal Palace, don't we? So I think he's got a chance if he plays in that one to stop that one anyway. Gabriel Jesus has scored in 5 of his 6 Premier League appearances against Leicester with 5 goals. Only versus Everton with 7 has a Brazilian netted more Premier League goals than versus the Foxes. City have kept more clean sheets, 28, conceded fewer goals, 26 in all competitions this season than any other side in Europe's top 5 leagues. City have conceded just 8 away goals in the Premier League this season, while the Citizens have won each of their last 9 away league games by an aggregate score of 24-3. From Stat City, Gabriel Jesus is the first Man City player to score on their birthday since Kevin De Bruyne at Newcastle 28th of June 2020. So it wasn't that long ago, was it really? So it's not even a year ago. So, I mean, the chances for strikers to score on the birthdays, I think, are quite high, aren't they, I think. Gabriel Jesus has now scored 81 goals for City in all competitions, the same amount that Yaya Toure netted for the club, moving him into the top 20 all-time leading goal scorers table. Let's hope there's many more. I'm sure there will be. So the conclusion, here we go. Yeah, good day. Leicester, let's have a look at a quick word on Leicester. Yeah, I mean, they were, let's face it, the high-flying Leicester, they were restricted, weren't they, to only like 2 or 3 half chances throughout the game. I mean, they're bound to get chances. They're not a bad team. City are not perfect by any means. You know, we're always going to let teams get, but they did struggle against a very professional City team, and that just shows perhaps the gap in class at the moment. No offence to Leicester, but I think with Vardy and especially Iheanacho was sort of non-existent yesterday, wasn't he? I mean, he had no chance against our formation, I don't think, yesterday. I mean, we've got the ball, they can't do much, can they? And Vardy and Iheanacho, as I said, Vardy did have the ball in the net, didn't he? But obviously he was offside. I think it was Vardy, wasn't he? But they did look a little lacking up front. And I think Vardy's on a bad run, isn't he? And I mean, at his peak, he was fantastic, but perhaps he's just lost that little bit now. I'm not too sure. But you say things like that, and he suddenly goes on a great run of goal scoring, doesn't he? But if Nacho, who's obviously been on fire, if his form dips, then they are struggling a little bit. I mean, there's still, I think, 5 points clear of Chelsea, got beat yesterday. Still, top four still doable. We all remember what happened last season. They've got points in hand. I mean, they've got Maddison back fit now, whether he's got his little headband on, he's got Jemima back. I don't know, but I think they should be okay. I think they should scramble to Champions League place. I think they've still got to play United as well. They've got 2 or 3 tough games to play. But if they can sort of mount the points up in the next 3 or 4 games, I think they should be okay. But you could see, wasn't it, the gap in skill between first and third was enormous today. I didn't listen into what Brendan Rodgers was thinking, but I think he accepted defeat gracefully. I mean, obviously, when they slaughtered us back at the Etihad, didn't quite make up for it, but almost. They still beat us 5-4 on aggregate, didn't they? But I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be top. I think they'll be all right for top 4. As I say, hopefully they won't bottle it again. And as I said, if Maddison's come back and perhaps Iheanacho keeps up his form or gets back on form, because he was pretty naff yesterday, Vardy catches a bit of his old self, then they'll be all right. And then it just brings me on to City, doesn't it? As I said, the gap between first and third skill-wise yesterday was really evident, wasn't it? Almost joint second, aren't they, Leicester, and mine first and third there, which brings me to City. Most of the game, we were efficient yesterday, weren't we? That first half was absolutely brilliant, but we didn't have anything to show for it, unfortunately, did we? And we added tremendous work rate to the undoubted skills. It's funny, isn't it? I was looking at, you always want the ball to bounce your way, and when we do get blocks in and tackles in, you need the ball to fall for you, don't you? And sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't, as it would do in normal. But if you get your body in your way and get the blocks in, then that's all that matters. That's been lacking from City, you think, before Pep's time, with that sort of ability to do that sort of thing, get men in the box. I mean, even now getting men in the box is far better now than it perhaps was a couple of seasons ago when we had out-and-out strikers. Now we're playing all over with midfielders as strikers. We are getting men in the box more often, and little deflections and things, always like the Mendy goal, there's always a chance we're going to score if we can get men in the box and pick up these headers that are not quite as good as they should be, or deflections in the box. And that's all well and good, and we'll probably need that, obviously, in the future with the games, but tough games we've got to come. I mean, back from an international break, I think that team was fantastic yesterday. I think we were all on the same wavelength. And I think everyone finished fit yesterday. I don't think there was any injury problems. So obviously we think now we look ahead to Borussia Dortmund, don't we? So we'll have a look at how we're doing that. But we can't, I think this is the best position we've been in, I would say, and I think most of us agree, injury-wise, etc. All right, we would love a fully fit flying Sergio, but we're not going to get that, are we, unfortunately? But he's still there, isn't he? Still an option, and he could still cause total confusion to opposition defences coming off the bench and things like that. So interesting how psychologically he's feeling now. He knows he's going. That's the thing as well, isn't it? Will that play on his mind? I don't know. Will that affect his, or will it give him the freedom? Perhaps will we see a little bit more better of him? But anyway, onwards and upwards to the next stage in April, which is going to be a really tough month. But obviously, step 1 of April's done, dusted, fantastic. I mean, individual, as I say, we've talked about Aguero. Mahrez was below par, but sometimes he is, and he's much funny, Mahrez, isn't he? You can look a will beater 1 minute, and then the next game you think, well, he should do loads better. But we're playing Leicester, perhaps that's on his mind psychologically, I'm not too sure. But but apart from Mahrez and Aguero yesterday, I don't think there's any problem with any of the team yesterday. They all had good, solid, if not excellent performances. So there you go. Let me know what you think anyway. Let me know what you think of that game yesterday. I thought, not job done, I think we say, don't we? So thanks for joining me. Of course, I'll be back with a preview of the Dortmund game. I think that'll be on Monday before the game. And there will also be a History Boys feature on City against Dortmund, which will be, I think that'll be out on Tuesday as well. So please look out for those and everything else on my little playlist there. Have a look if you're at a loose end and you want a bit of thing. I've just recently done a look back at the City Leeds game night, with the Leeds game coming up quite soon. I did a look back at the 1992 City Leeds game played at Main Road, which had a significant thing on Leeds winning the title or City qualifying for Europe. It was a big game at the time because we were up there battling and Leeds were up there battling with them guys across the road. So seek that out, have a look at that anyway. Thanks for joining me for this big match analysis. Leicester City 0, Manchester City 2. Whatever you do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Till we meet here again on the Citizen channel, or you have a flick across on my film and TV channel. All I ever ask of you out there is please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.